Hey everyone, how are you guys doing today? Jav here from Cut and Make Crafts. And in today's video, I am going to show you how to quickly and easily create unique SVG designs using Creative Fabrica and Affinity Designer. All right, let's get started. So before we begin, let me tell you this, uh, for someone who is super busy and has a full-time job, creating and selling SVG cut files becomes really, you need to develop strategies that will allow you to quickly and easily create unique SVG designs that you can put up in your shop to start making passive income real quick. So I've developed some strategies that has helped me in creating designs in a less time consuming way. And I do that by using graphic elements created by other designers in a strategic way so that I don't get into trouble. And also, I end up creating my designs quickly and easily. All right. So today I'm going to show you how I do that. So the good thing is websites like Creative Fabrica offer a ton of graphical products, fonts, and elements that you can use to create your designs quickly and easily. For example, if you want to create a cat themed design, you don't have to sit and draw a cat like this from scratch. You can actually use this cat element in your project and create an SVG design that you can sell in your shop. But before you start creating your design, first and foremost, go to the Creative Fabrica website and check out their terms and conditions on how you can use their elements, these design elements. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find two links uh, uh, that will show you what kind of license you can use and what's included in that license and how you can use those license. So let's say if you are buying one thing at a time and you're not you don't have a subscription with Creative Fabrica, you can go to single sales license and go to digital and products, because you are creating digital SVG cut files which are going to be the end products. So go ahead and read all the details here. So what you're allowed to do, you are allowed to create a new design using one of the elements, and you can combine multiple different elements to create a new design. But you cannot create end products that look exactly like the official design. So let's look at an example. So let's say you download this original design with a couple of flowers and everything. So what you can do is you cannot just simply put this flower onto somewhere and sell it as it is. You need to combine all the elements together and create a completely unique product which does not look anything like the original product. As you can see here in on the right hand side, this is what you can sell. And I'm going to show you an example. We're going to create something together and I'm going to show you what you can do. So once again, you cannot sell as it is. So in the first picture, this flower looks exactly like the original design, which you cannot sell, and you can see prohibited use. But when it comes to designing a new design, putting all the elements together, and you can see this does not look anything like the original download, this is what you can sell. So let me give you a couple of more examples. What you're not allowed to do is you cannot take this SVG, this one on the right hand side, and use it as your own and sell it as your own. All right. So what I try to avoid is I'm not gonna use this entire design as it is. Actually, I never ever use designs like these, and I would stay away from using a complete design like this, or this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. These are finished designs, and they look like the designer's final product. So I would stay away from all these kind of designs, and you really want to be very particular and careful about what designs you're using, because there are uh, companies out there who are actively looking to sue people who use other people's designs. Sometimes it's not even the actual designer who comes after you, it's a third party company who finds a design that somebody else is using, somebody else is selling as their own, and they contact the designer and they contact you on behalf of the designer to get the money off of you. And I've heard these kind of stories so many times. I've heard a story where a very established SVG shop was kicked out of Etsy because she used a font by this designer, because she misunderstood the usage of this font, and somehow she used it in her shop, and this guy got really mad, and he reported literally all of her listings in her shop, causing her shop to shut down. So you want to be very, very careful uh, about what kind of graphics you're using, what kind of elements you're using. So I would stay away from graphics like these. I don't ever want to use these. What I do like to use, something like this, or maybe something like this. Elements that you can incorporate in your design. So I can use these eyes. I can use these wedding outfits, right? So these are some things that are individually available that I can use. For example, this bundle of balloons, or this watercolor turtle, or this whale, or these hearts. These are great ideas, but I'm not going to use this one, dogs before dudes, because this looks like a combined finished project, and I don't want to get into trouble. So I'm going to stay away from this. I have a couple of ideas, examples for you guys. For example, I can use these hearts in my design, and let's work with this, and let's download this and create something out of it. All right, so let's get started with creating your very first design in Affinity Designer. So first of all, when you open up the app, this is what it's gonna look like. All the elements, I mean all the tools are currently switched off. To switch them on, I'm gonna go to File, and I'm gonna click on New to add a new canvas. So I like to work on the largest canvas possible, and I like to have my document unit set to inches. All right, so 11 by 16 inch. That's pretty good. I'm gonna leave it as it is, and I'm just gonna create a new canvas. All right, so now we can start creating over here. So we are creating a text-based SVG design with some pretty hearts. Let's look at our heart. So I'm gonna drag the SVG and open it in Affinity Designer in a new file. I'm not gonna open it on the same file, I'm gonna open it on the new file so I can copy paste it to I'm actually just gonna drag this to the top, so we just have this layer, and I'm gonna delete all these groups. All right, so this is our heart. Let's take another one. Just gonna drag the SVG and open it in Affinity, and I'm gonna take it out of the group because it's not gonna work if it's inside the group. So I'm gonna take it out of the group, Control C, and I'm gonna paste it inside my document. All right. So now we have two hearts. Let's decide on a quote. All right, so the text I wanna type is crazy in love with my cats. So to create the text SVG, I'm gonna go to the artistic text tool, which is on the left hand side, and I'm just gonna click on it. You can see there's a little A that pops up, which means the text tool is selected, and I'm just gonna click and drag to start typing. So I can either just simply click here, or I can click and drag, which will allow me to control the size of the font. All right, so click and drag, and I'm gonna just type in crazy with my cat. So this is just the basic. Now we're gonna modify it and play around with it. So let's first choose a good font. All right, so I'm gonna select everything. Now, one thing we need to keep in mind when creating text-based SVGs is what kind of font we are going to use. You cannot use super thin fonts like these to create designs that you want to cut on your Cricut or any other cutting machine, because a machine has its limitations. So if you choose a font like this, how do you expect the machine to cut these super thin lines? It's definitely gonna ruin your material. So we want to choose a thick font. So some of my favorite fonts. Okay, so that was in the old Affinity Designer. This one is a newer version, so I don't have all my fonts favorited over here. Again, this is a font that you don't want to use because of all the thin lines. It's definitely gonna mess up your material. Again, this is another font that you want to stay away from. So let's go for something fun. I think I like this one, and we can modify it to make it look pretty and fit in all these hearts and stuff as well. So the reason I've chosen a cat quote is so that I can use this cat SVG over here. So let's download this one as well. All right, so I'm just gonna grab it and drag it to my document. Control C, Control V. Now I've got my cat. I've got all my elements in one place. Let me just undo this. It got pasted inside the text, which we don't want. Let's paste it outside. All right, so I've got all my elements in one place. Now I'm gonna work with it to create a unique SVG. So we've got our text here. Now to move this text around, I need to first convert it to a curve. So right now, if you go to the layers panel on the right hand side, you can see it appears as an art text. And if I export this to my Cricut design space right now, it's not gonna work. The Cricut design space can only read curves. So as you can see, all these are in curves. We need to change this text into curves as well. So what I'm gonna do is you can either right click and click on convert to curves, and you can see it is now grouped and everything it appears as curve. And Let's ungroup all. And now you can see each letter can be moved around if I want to. So let's bring this together so it overlaps. So it'll be cut together. We don't want super small spaces because it can ruin the vinyl and the vinyl can rip off. So we gotta be mindful of the white space as well. You don't want the letters to be too close or too far apart. There should be a good midpoint. All right, so select this all. What I'm doing here is I am merging one word together. So love is now as one curve. As you can see earlier, it was all the letters were separate. All the letters were appearing separately, and I don't want to move around individual letters. So what I'm going to do is select all the letters in this word, and I am going to add it together so it sticks together. So the tool you want to use is add. You're not going to group it because grouping means it can still move around. You want to merge them together, and the add option at the top over here allows you to merge the elements together. All right, so now you can see it appears as curves on the right hand side. That is what we want. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to merge these together as well. So that's one word. Then I want to merge crazy and my with, and then I want to merge cat. All right, so now I can move around these individual words to create my own unique design. So I am gonna put this here. You can make something bigger. With my cat. So you can have a little cat over here. And I'm gonna put these hearts somewhere around as well. Now these hearts have a lot of details inside them, and we don't want to make it too small because then it's gonna rip off the vinyl. So let's get rid of one of the hearts so we can have one heart. And let's change this. So that is our unique design. I'm gonna leave this as it is so that you guys can see what happens when I merge the entire thing. So we can bring these two together closer. And now as you can see, all these are not stuck to at one place, right? Because if somebody buys this design and they import it on Design Space, it's not gonna work. It's gonna be all over the place, and you want to make things as easy as possible for your customers, or even if you're sharing it with your friends or someone, you want it to be as easy as possible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything and I am gonna merge it all together. And you can see two things have changed after I clicked on the add option. Everything became one color, and on the right hand side, instead of having 10 different layers, we just have one layer with our SVG. So that is what we want. That is what we aim for when we are creating our designs. So we want just one layer. This means this design is ready to be cut. And let's decrease the size. So usually if you want to print it on a t-shirt, you can keep it as 5 to 6 inch. So I'm going to leave it at 6.8 inch. And that's it. Our design is ready. So we use 2 different elements from Creative Fabrica to create these designs. We use these hearts, and we use these, and we use this cat. So this is how you're supposed to use the elements from Creative Fabrica to create your own designs. You don't have to sit around and draw a cat from scratch, or draw a heart from scratch. You can use all those elements available on Creative Fabrica to quickly and easily create unique SVGs. So this is a pretty unique design, and now you own this design, and nobody can come and nobody can fine you for using these elements, because you have created a completely new design using some of the elements that are available on the website by other, contributed by other designers. All right, so now let's export this file. Export. You want to export this as a PNG. So from the settings, you're going to go and select SVG from the drop down. There you go, that's SVG. And you want to save it as a high quality SVG. And you want to select selection only. So you're just exporting this part of the SVG. Just click on export, and you can save this, and you can save this on your desktop. Let's import this on Design Space. There you go, add to canvas. And that's our design, ready to be cut. All right, I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Do have a look at Creative Fabrica. They have ton and ton of awesome stuff. I love their craft section. You can join the craft club and get a ton of amazing projects to work on. And the other thing I love about Creative Fabrica is all the amazing fonts that you can get for just $1 to use with your projects. You can see this is a just $1 font. You can save a ton of money on fonts by purchasing from websites like Creative Fabrica. This is so helpful because because I don't keep any personal use fonts on my computer, because I don't want to get into trouble or by accidentally using a personal use font. I only have all the paid commercial fonts on my computer. So, and I haven't spent like $1 million buying expensive fonts. I only shop the $1 fonts or fonts in bundles. For example, this one, because it's such a good bargain, and it helps to keep the cost low. So definitely check this out and have a look. Check out all their elements that you can use. They have a ton of different types of elements, selection of elements. For example, if you want to create flower SVGs, you have all these elements that you can use. For example, this one. Let's say you want to create mermaid SVGs. You can use this one. You can use any from here. So I would stick to just using elements like these instead of something like this, just to avoid getting into any kind of trouble. And if you have second thoughts, if you're confused, if you can use this, you can always message Creative Fabrica. You can contact their support and find out if you can use the element or not. All right, so I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. If you want to learn how to make passive income from SVGs, check out my free masterclass via the link below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.